Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of In the Blender with your host, Shake Money. And today we got a great guest for you today, like we always do, man. I first saw him um, on Stephen Daniels' show, Miami Sports Music, when he was a few years ago, man. I loved the way he debated with people. And because he stood up for Tua, they thought he was an Alabama fan, a Tua near, you name it. And as a matter of fact, he was once known as the Toxic King. And we'll get with him soon, right when we come back.
I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K. I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K.
What's going on, Vinny? How you doing, my brother? Good to see you, man. So, like I said, I previewed before this next guest. I said he is the Toxic King, great value, and now the Tua Near #1 fan club. My main man, Andrevious. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, guys? How's it going? Excited to be
Good.
here.
Yeah, not bad for a toxic person, right?
Yeah, exactly. Everybody, put hands up in the chat. Say you're rooting for me. We y'all fucking with Dre, right? No. Am I allowed to curse on the show?
Try to keep it to a minimum.
Okay. All right. So anyway,
what's up, Dolphinaire? Nay. So, man, it's coming up to a year, man. I'll never forget this time last year, man. We were at the Batman's party.
Right.
Hey, Batman, you're smiling now, but this dude is looking for you. He's looking for you.
That is funny. That is hilarious. That was an awkward night. That was hilarious. Saban wasn't in a good mood that day. I could tell. He knew what was up the moment he walked in there. Still got that signed poster from him.
Yeah, me too. What's going on, Raphael Court? Right? No, man, I tell you what it is. I'm not trying to check, but man, his wife was looking damn.
Yeah. Hope they got that squared away one of these days. Not my business.
Yeah, man. But no, it was a good. He even did an interview with us, and I think it was a good night, man. We had some wine.
Mm-hmm.
We had some wine, and it was awesome, man. Because he knew it wasn't get paid. What's going on, Big Philly?
We shall not confirm or deny that, Big Philly.
Man. Corky, aka Shake Money. What's going on, Raphael Courtright? What's going on, Von Joe? What's going on, man?
Bro Law in the building. Okay.
So, we also remember this right here, man. I met you at the this was the Carolina game, I believe.
That was the Carolina game. Yep. I was there
That
with
we
my
see.
friend. I was there with my friend who's a Panthers fan. Poor guy. He had a terrible day that day.
Yeah, that's Mo Sauces. I believe that's Tony, right?
No, that's Doc.
No, the number 10.
That's no, that's not Tony. That's Man of the Future.
Okay, Man of the Future.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Man of the Future, and then of course that's you right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man of the Future. Yeah, I met. Yeah, man. At those games, I've met Von 954. I met Man of the Future. I met quite a few people, man. At what out of this year's game? Which one was your favorite tailgate that you've been to?
probably say the Panthers game. I went out there and I kicked it with Tony, Mo Sauces, and you pulled up, and then Andy pulled up and sung the famous fight song. That was funny. We all had shots. Oh, Doc was there. We had shots. We was drinking. We ate chicken. We was kicking the shit. Yeah, I generally just enjoy the camaraderie when I go to games.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and then we went there. We went inside and handled business. So leaving the tailgate was even better.
I have a question. Dean that Lewis is giving a shot. How did you feel about uh the Dolphins not extending his contract?
I'm still in talks with Greer because
Uh,
this is a travesty. We cannot accept this. This is not okay as a Dolphins fan, part of the community. We got to get Greer to extend. I'm working on Lou. I'm Lou's agent on this. Me and Greer are in extensive talks. He's being very stubborn. He's holding his ground about what he needs on his end, and he's not willing to go any higher. But we're gonna get him. We're gonna get him to bring that number up. We're bringing Lou
and,
back.
and by the way, shout out to CBA3. I saw him on the round table cooking. Cooking, of course, he was cooking my man. He was cooking TD and Doug Lee Do Wrong. Much respect to you, man. Crypto's in the building as well. So, all right, the $1 million question. I know you're from Miami, but as we
I
know,
am
there's a
not
lot of.
from Miami.
Where you from? Florida, Fort
I'm
Lauderdale,
from
right?
Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, my
Exactly.
bad,
I'm a
my
Broward
bad.
boy.
Okay, bro. So, okay, you're from South Florida. There you
I
go.
am from South Florida. Correct.
So, just because you're South Florida doesn't always mean you're a Dolphin fan. So, what made you a Dolphin fan? What's up, Andres Negron?
So me, being a Dolphins fan, I don't know how to explain it, but to say I was born into this, I never had a choice. I have two overly overzealous Dolphins fans for parents.
So
I
it's like
grew
this.
up with yeah, pretty much. I grew up in a house with a mom and a dad. They told me, "Hey, you're gonna be a Dolphins fan. You're gonna be a Heat fan. They don't really care that much about the other teams, or you gonna get out. Like it is
Hmm.
what it is." I remember at one point, I told them I didn't want to be a Dolphins fan anymore. I wanted to be a Jaguars fan, and they was like, "Okay, yeah, you could pack up and go." And yeah, I was a Jaguars fan for like 5 minutes. Yeah, there was that. I was Roach. I was Roach. I was a Jaguars fan
Yeah.
for five
Yeah.
minutes. So yeah, I grew up in a house. My dad's like, so my dad, he's like super. Those guys that are like freak. Alex Renee Diaz is from the mean streets of Coral Springs. Don't ever disrespect him. Don't go to Coral Square Mall without checking in, because security might hem your ass up at the
Coral
door.
Springs. Damn. I didn't know there were
The
mean
mean
streets in Coral
streets of
Springs.
Coral Springs. Mean streets of Coral Springs. So yeah. So funny thing is, I never when we have these debates about Dan Marino, I never have those super strong opinions because I grew up in a house divided. Okay, my dad, he's like all the typical older Dolphins fans. He praises the ground Dan Marino walks on. My dad worked at a golf course his whole life. The like shining moment was the day Dan Marino came to his golf course at that day, and he like literally took a picture with him, got a signature, all this stuff. My dad like worships that man. My mom hates Dan Marino. She hates him. She hates him. I know what you're thinking. How did she
Hmm.
grow up watching him in the 80s and 90s and hating him?
Hmm.
Because she's as simple as this. He didn't win a Super Bowl. He sucks. I don't care about all those stats. I don't give a damn if you threw 500 touchdowns. I don't care what he did. He didn't win us a Super Bowl. In my opinion, he sucks. So I grew up with like, did he? And I didn't really grow up watching him. I didn't really pay attention to the Dolphins before like he was he literally was washed when I actually started paying attention to the Dolphins.
Hmm.
And it was like, was this guy good? Was he not good? Everybody says he was. I mean, I got highlights, I got old games, but my mom kind of got a point. He never won a Super Bowl, but then my daddy they be going at it. It's actually hilarious. If you, I'm, I go to like one game with my parents a year. I'm gonna make sure I
Hmm.
bring them to a tailgate, and y'all gotta instigate a fight about Dan Marino with them, and it will be absolute comedy. I promise you, it's gonna be comedy hour.
Actually, the best way I would say is you ask her, say, "Hey, listen, let me ask you a question." They're both there. I'm like, if Tua Tagovailoa wins the Super Bowl, would he surpass Marino?
Oh, my mom's gonna say absolutely. My mom's not even gonna hesitate. She's gonna be like, yes. If anybody wins, she's gonna say what I always say. If anybody wins the Super Bowl, they've surpassed Dan Marino in my book. She's gonna say the same. My dad will be like, oh, Dan Marino is the greatest quarterback of all time, the greatest natural passer. Nobody could do what he did. Uh, Don Shula didn't give him what he needed. They didn't support him. They didn't give him a run game. They didn't give him a defense. And my mom's gonna say, I don't care. He put up all them Hall of Fame numbers. Where's the Super Bowl? I don't argue with neither of them. I just be
Hmm.
egging it on. I'd be like, "Ooh, you gonna let him get away with that? You gonna let him say that?" And she say something, I'd be like, "Dang, you gonna let her talk about Dan Marino like that? That's crazy. That's crazy." And they just be going at it. It's hilarious.
Shit. That's what you used to do with in Miami sports music. I used to love how you used to instigate the when somebody was
Hmm.
having a disagreement.
Yeah, I be instigating with them all the time. But yeah, that's something you learn in black culture. I'm sure Hispanic culture too. I mean, I'm half Hispanic. We just egg it on. When you're
Hmm.
not a part of it, it's the best part of arguments.
Yeah, you're Puerto Rican, right?
Ooh, yes, sir. That's what my daddy
Which
is.
half? Puerto
The Dan
Rican.
Marino, the Dan Marino near my dad. Yeah,
Okay. What do you speak Spanish?
I do not see. This is another reason why I don't exactly side with my dad on things because he ain't even teach me Spanish. He's terrible. He speaks fluent Spanish, by the way. Never gave it to me. Terrible guy.
Oh, my Spanish is horrible too. I know I could understand it better than I could speak it. Because every time I speak Spanish, they're like, "Is he's kind of slow? Is he?" I'm like, "No, I just have a hard time pronouncing certain words in Spanish, but I understand everything you're saying." Okay, but
I struggle with the understanding part too. Pray for me.
so last year, do you remember any games growing up watching with your dad? Any Marino games?
Funny you should say that. I feel like the only memory I really have of Dan Marino is 63-7.
Damn,
That's it. That was the day I was like that funny enough is the day I told them I don't want to be a Dolphins fan, I want to be a Jaguars fan. And they basically told me go to hell, pack your clothes. We not doing this here. But yeah, that's like I mean, I grew up a Dolphins fan as a jit, but like in the early '90s when Dan Marino was actually good, like I was a little kid. It was just like, yay, the Dolphins won, or oh, they lost. I didn't really care about was going, what actually was going on in the games. I had no idea. When I actually became aware of what was going on and actually becoming like that guy who became a fan who paid attention, who knows what's going on, and knows who's on the team. Yeah, 63-7.
damn. Now that you brought that up, give me 1 second. I gotta get some ice. I'm gonna pour myself a drink now.
All right, that's cool. Oh, see, I'm giving Jags too much credit. It was 62-7. 62. I lied. 62-7. What a time to be
Yes.
alive.
Yeah, listen, I watched that game too, and you know that reminded me of watching him lose 63 to was it 3? Was
62 to
watching
7. I just corrected myself.
62 to 7, 62 to 7. It was like watching Scarface at the end get shut down.
Yeah, that was the beginning of my actual real fanhood of the Dolphins. And then, we won a couple playoff games. And then came the Ricky Williams era. And oddly, we never even went to the playoffs in that era. And that was probably like when I really enjoyed being a Dolphins fan. I don't know why. I love that. So those like 3 years so much. I just remember it so fondly. That defense with Zach Thomas, Jason Taylor, Patrick Surtain, Sam Madison. Um, what's the name of the safeties? Yeah, Brock. What's his name? That safety.
Brock Marion.
Brock Marion. Yeah, those are good times. Good times. And we had Ricky Williams. We were running him into the ground, so I don't blame him for smoking weed. Because we
So let
was
me ask
running
you
that
this.
man into the ground.
Now that you brought that up, let me ask you this. In your humble opinion, what defense was better? Last year's defense or the 2002 defense?
2002. 2002. It's not even like I. This is me admitting I'm just being biased. I will probably never in my life admit that I've seen something better. Like we could have this season we could have went out there and been ranked the number one overall defense. And I would probably still be like, you ain't got Jason Taylor on that team. You ain't got Zach Thomas on that team. You ain't got Sam Madison on that team. You ain't got Brock Marion on that team. No, no, no. I don't believe in you. You're not better. No, no. What you think?
Yeah, that 2000. Listen, when Tom Brady was on a Manning cast, he said the toughest team he's ever played. And this was after he's like retired. Manning's cast. He said the toughest team he ever played in his entire life was that 2002 defense.
I bet. I bet. We had another. I feel like we had like.
He said he's never played. That was he said that was the toughest team defense he had to go up against year in and
That
year
was
out. And
before we had Sammy Knight, but yeah, I was gonna say we had like four great defenders on the in the secondary, but no, I think second Sammy Knight was after Brock Marion, so I don't. But
we
yeah,
had
I love that.
Awali and Gounlier, then end up doing nothing in Chicago.
Yeah, I love that team. I'm so fond of those years, like the 2001 through 2003 season. Ah, I look back on it like those were the days.
Yeah.
And we could just, it was just like, dang, if we just had a quarterback in those years, if we just had a quarterback,
You
we
think
could have
Tua
done
would
something.
would have been
Yeah, Tua would have brought the boys to the Super Bowl. Probably would have won it. Just saying.
that's
Who
what's
was it?
up.
Who was going to the Super Bowl back then? It was
2002. It
those
was
years.
the Raiders against the Bucks.
Yeah, we could have beat the Raiders. We could have beat the Raiders that year if we had a quarterback. Absolutely. I'm saying that with a straight face. If we would have just had a middle of the road quarterback,
What
I
about
think we
Tannehill?
could have.
Do you think Tannehill with the 2002 defense?
I think Tannehill would have had success with that team. Personally, I think Tannehill. I don't know if I could say Super Bowl. I think we would have at least like AFC Championship. At least I think if we had a Tannehill type player on those teams, we would have made some noise in the playoffs. I don't see how you could say otherwise. Tannehill was a very. I mean, Tannehill was. God, he was frustrating sometimes, but he was the efficient quarterback. He was good. He just was an idiot when
Hmm.
the pocket broke down. He was an idiot when the pocket broke down. It was sad.
So let me ask you this then. Speaking of Tannehill, everybody's saying that Tua is polarizing because I remember back in the day, TD used to get shrapnel roasted because he believed in Tannehill. Back in the day, there was a portion of a fan base that wanted Tannehill gone, and a portion that wanted give Tannehill weapons. Make sure we need to build around Tannehill because we never gave him a good team. Do you think that Tannehill was just as polarizing or not as polarizing as Tua Tagovailoa?
Nah, I remember there was a lot of fans who never liked Tannehill, but I just don't remember the discourse being this bad with Tannehill. Like,
Well, you got to be fair. When Tannehill was out, there wasn't too much, Twitter or space or people, with panels and stuff like that to really beef their, get their opinion across. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
that's a good point. I just even like in when you just arguing with your friends that are Dolphins fans, it just gets bad now that we got to. Some people really hate him. Some people just really like, I'm gonna keep it in the middle. Some people really love him. It's so bad. I just remember with Tannehill, I feel like whether you liked him or you didn't like him, because I like Tannehill, but I feel like we all knew what it was with Tannehill. Even if you ain't like him, you like, "Man, he alright." If you did like him, you're like, he good enough. But for Tua, it's either he's great or he's just like the scum of the earth. There's no nuance in the conversation. It's really bad sometimes. Like the Batmans of the world, they make him like he's gonna be Tom Brady, and then there's like the Pete's of the world, make it seem like he's God dang
Josh
Johnny
Rosen.
Manziel.
Yeah.
Josh Rosen, that's a good one. Well, Josh Rosen's good, let Pete tell it. So no, he's not Josh Rosen. He's worse. So there's that. Pray for him. It's bad. It's just real bad. Color saying there were Tannehill haters were allowed their space. He didn't have an army of cultists. I mean, I just
Yeah,
feel
well,
like
yeah, well, it's like, for instance, like when you hear Batman talk, and of course he's being tongue in cheek. You know what I'm saying? People don't realize that about him, but like one of the funny things that piss people off, he goes, "Hey, man, and listen, if I was Chris Greer, I'm like, listen, uh, Odell Beckham, you better come cheap if you want to play with Tua, because I know that's why he's here, because he wants to play with Tua. He'll make up something like that. You know what I'm saying? And he'd be
yeah,
like, and then of course, like you said, Pete would be like, well, Odell Beckham, he wants more money because he has to play with Tua. Now, if he was playing with Skylar
right,
Thompson,
right,
he'll take the discount.
right. There's just we're not allowed to have an honest
So
conversation at all.
yeah, so all right, so let's stick with this last year's football team, since we're talking about football team. What grade would you give them?
Which year? The year that just passed?
Yeah, they're just passed. What grade would you give them?
Overall, I think B. Gonna give it a B. I mean, I don't think anybody could be mad. I know we're mad about it, but you go into a season and you say my team's gonna win 11 games, go to the playoffs, have a chance. Most fans ain't gonna be mad at that. The bad part, we didn't win our division. We didn't get that home game. We ended up playing the eventual Super Bowl champions, which sucks, but I mean, it's no excuse for it. Still should have gone out there and tried and won that game, but hey, life is life. I'm gonna give them a B, because they underperformed to my expectations. I expected 12 or 13 wins, so I'm not gonna give them the A unless they got 12 or 13 wins in a playoff win. So there's that.
Yeah, understandable. So all right, we have two awards. Okay, two on offense, two on defense. Now the first one is the MVP, offensive MVP, and the offensive participation trophy, which means they just showed up, so they didn't do nothing but just participate. So on offense, who's your MVP and participation trophy?
Offensive MVP, I'm going to go with Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill's the offensive MVP. Um, No matter how you slice it, the whole offense was based around Tyreek Hill. He had to go out there and try to be the best version of himself week in and week out, outside of the New York game because he didn't play, of course. And whether he came up short or balled out, his results had the hugest impact on the game. Not even tools. Tyreek Hill and his success had the most to do with the Dolphins' success this season. If he went out there and had a great game, most likely we won. When he went out there and had a bad game, most likely we lost. The offense ran through Tyreek Hill.
Mhm.
Um,
By the
I'm
way,
going with this.
when you do like this, the for some reason there's a big loud feedback. Just so you
Oh,
know, if you
my bad. I'm
okay,
sorry.
that's all good.
Um, and you say the participation trophy? What define participation trophy? I don't want to give this to the wrong person.
So pretty much, he didn't do nothing. He just showed up. He just participated. He didn't win. He just participated. He just showed up. Kind of like the opposite of the MVP.
Hmm.
Who was the best player on offense and who was the worst player on offense, essentially.
Hmm. I'm gonna go with this is a tough one. I feel like who just sucked this year on offense?
According to Batman, it was Eichenberg, but then again,
I don't want to do that to Eichenberg because I feel like he played better than I thought he would in some games.
it's
This is hard.
kind of tough.
Yeah.
He didn't even participate. What are you talking about?
You know what? I'm gonna go with, and it hurts my heart to do this because he's a fellow Broward boy, but Robbie Chosen.
Robbie chosen.
Jesus Christ! If there was one guy who was just out there running, he was just out there running. Like he was just. I mean, the games he did participate in, it was like he was just getting cardio in. He didn't. He wasn't catching no balls. He wasn't blocking. He was just getting cardio in. He just went up there, got like 20 minutes of cardio. It was, yeah, that was Robbie chosen. I guess it's my fault
But
for having expectations of him this season. He did not live up to the expectations I had.
look, I'm glad you brought that up because I remember I'll never forget. I think he was at a Chuck E. Cheese or some shit when they broke the news at a birthday party. He had a Tua jersey. Remember?
I don't think it was a Chuck E. Cheese, but yes, I heard that.
Whatever it was. But he was at a birthday party, and and but he was at a birthday party, and I'll never forget how people he had a Tua jersey, and how excited people were when they like, oh, look at that, he had a Tua jersey, and this and that, and blah blah blah. So he's gonna be the third guy, and we had high.
Yeah.
I think, to be honest with you, let me ask you this: who did you have higher hopes for, Robbie Chosen or Fuller, the guy from the Texans?
Oh, Fuller. Fuller. I thought Fuller was going to be like, he was going to be our new deep threat. I thought he was going to go out there and have 500 yards and touchdowns. I thought every game he was going to have like a 40-yard bomb on somebody's head. And what did he play? 4 downs for us? What happened with Will Fuller?
Damn.
Do we to this day do we know what happened with Will Fuller? I feel like we never got an answer. Does
You know what's
anybody
funny?
know what happened with Will Fuller?
According to Mika Grimes, she was on K Flexion's show at one time. K Flexon did an interview with Mika Grimes, and according to Mika
Mhm.
Grimes, he's saying it was player reparations.
Player reparations.
Yeah. So what player reparations is when a player um, bucks the system because they've been abused so much. So what they do is they sign a big contract and literally just say I'm hurt and not playing just for the money. So it's called player reparations.
Hmm. Okay. I
You learn something
don't
new
know if
every
I
day.
believe that. I don't know if I believe that, but good for him if that's what he did. Whatever. My mama told me a man that don't work don't eat, but if you can get the check without working, I ain't gonna be mad at you, play.
Nope. So all right, I'm gonna put you on the spot now. You have the Oakland Raiders, LA Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders, right? You have the San Diego Chargers and
LA
the
Chargers.
LA Chargers. Yeah. You have the LA Rams, you have the St. Louis Rams, and then you have the LA Rams again. What I mean by that now, what if the Miami Dolphins was the Austin or Austin Dolphins? Would you still? And it's not like how the Cleveland Browns became the Ravens. No, they're still the Dolphins, but in Austin, Texas. Would you still be a Dolphins fan? Same franchise, aqua and orange, same logo and everything.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna be a Dolphins fan until if they bring a new team to South Florida. I'm saying bye bye to the Dolphins. But like if there's no team in South Florida and the Dolphins are off in Vancouver somewhere, I'm gonna root for the Dolphins. But soon as like the South Florida alligators are here, I'm a South Florida alligator
Sharks.
now. Sorry. Yeah, whatever, whoever it is, I'm them now. I'm gonna just be honest. I'm a hometown guy through and through. I'm
What if they're
loyal
the
to this
Miami Sea
team.
Turtles?
Miami Sea Turtles got my loyalty if the Dolphins are gone.
Uh, I brought up the Sea Turtles because I'm from Carroll City, and holy man, they wanted to change from Carroll City Chiefs to the Miami Garden Sea Turtles, and man, I thank God for the Carroll City alumni who put a stop to that.
Uh, I actually attended a high school which Broward County is petitioning to shut down now, and I'm actually really sad because we're a very historic high school, and they're trying to shut it down now. So yeah, I'm hoping people in that community rise up and do something about that. But
So,
yeah,
right, being that you're a former, you're an FAU alumni, right?
mhm.
What player in their sports history would you have wanted the Dolphins to draft, if possible? Is there a player that you were
Devin
like, damn,
Singletary. Devin
Devin
Singletary,
Singleton?
hands down. Listen, Devin Singletary in college. I mean, we didn't play in the greatest conference, of course, but that dude, watching him Saturday after Saturday, it was special. There was one season he led the NCAA in rushing touchdowns. Um, yeah, it was one of the most special things I ever seen in my life. Getting to watch that, going to the stadium, watching that every Saturday was like, yeah, yeah, again, I go to FAU. It's not some prestigious football
Yeah.
program. So actually watching someone do something special,
Mm-hmm.
it was like amazing for us because like we're FAU and this guy who's amazing is playing here. And then he went on to go play for the Bills. And I hated it because I'm like, I gotta root for my guy, I gotta root for my guy, but he plays for the goddamn Bills. So go to hell, Devin Singletary. So when he left the Bills, I was happy. Who does he play for now? I am not sure. Hold on, let me look it up so I can keep up.
And you have some
Oh,
huge
yes.
feedback. You have a lot of feedback coming from you. It's all
Ah,
good.
Jesus. Oh,
But
he's on
real
the
quick,
Giants. He's cool. He's
I,
cool. He's
I
cool.
don't know if you know this, but around 2000, I used to work for the stadium around 2001, from 2001, 2004, around that era. This was when Dolphins went to the Baltimore. The last playoff we lost to Baltimore that year. We went to the playoffs. I forgot that. I think that was 2004. At any rate, I used to be a suite runner, and I remember Saturdays before the Canes used to play there on Saturdays. FAU used to play there on Saturday
FAU
at Hard
played
Rock.
in
FA,
at Hard Rock.
yeah.
Oh, that
And
was
one of the reasons I can remember this is because my brother-in-law was an architect that helped. draw the campuses for FAU, the FA Golden the Owls, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the architects to help design the campuses, and he was at the in the skyboxes watching the game.
I did not know we ever played at. Oh wow! When I first went to FAU, we were playing at Lockhart. You know where Lockhart
Hmm.
is?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's not Lockhart anymore. That's where Inter Miami plays now. We used to play at Lockhart. Ah, wow! I never knew they played
Damn.
at
Thank
the
you,
state.
Cruz Ruiz, man.
Cool.
My two favorite guys in the Dolphins community. Salute y'all. Hey, man. Much appreciate you, Cruz. And hey, man, appreciate you for coming through this Saturday in the W Energy Drink WrestleMania preview, man. That was good. It was
My
glad
man is
to.
cool. That's my guy.
Yeah, Cruz Ruiz. Hell yeah. I love how he challenges people, and so a lot of times you can't argue with him because, you know,
Hmm.
I mean, he does have a lot of logic to what he's saying, man.
Right, right, right.
So
Yeah,
Devin Singletary will be your guy if you would have drafted
yeah.
if you would have been a Miami Dolphin.
I'm trying to think of other players we got in the league. I know we got a tight end that plays for the Browns. I can't think of his name. Uh, um, I'm gonna Google it real quick.
Cruz got low standards. Much love, color. Um,
But yeah, we don't have a lot of players in the league, so of course Devin Singletary is what I'm gonna go to. I can't find the guy's name right now.
so let me ask
Yeah,
you, game day. What's your go-to game day meal?
I'm a very simple guy. I am the cliche football guy. I'm eating a bunch of wings. I'm getting sliders, guac and chips, but primarily I'm gonna go wings. I'm gonna drink some beer. I'm gonna have some whiskey and ginger beer, and I'm gonna have a good time. And if I'm at the game, I'm probably gonna drink more beer than anything. If I'm at home, I am totally fine with getting wasted, so I'm gonna have a bunch of whiskey. But yeah, wings, hot lemon pepper wet. How about
Damn,
yourself?
this is a mine. Like I said, mine is a steak and mac and
Steak,
cheese.
steak and mac and cheese.
But
Then we
hold on.
might need to add mac and cheese to the menu. Go ahead. Hi guys, it's me now. It's just my show. Oh,
So let me give a quick. I'm gonna give a quick brief wine lesson real quick.
okay.
This is Sauternes. This is from the left bank of Bordeaux.
Mm,
And what happens is it's between the Garonne River and I forgot what the other river is, but one's a cool river, one's a warm river, and they produces a fog, and this fog uh, helps the grape get Sauvignon Blanc and Semillon, and what they do is they get it's called what they call it's called it helps get a fungus called botrytis, which is called noble rot, and so when it gets this fungus, it makes the wine sweet as hell. So it's like a dessert wine. And one of my favorite things to have with steak is Sauternes. So if you love like Moscato or late harvest Riesling, you're gonna love Sauternes. This is like 17, like $20 for 375. I recommend this to anybody. So as a matter of fact, I'm gonna have my birthday lunch this weekend because I couldn't have it because I had the flu. And this is what I normally have. I have this with some steak and shrimp fried rice, sweet and salty. I don't know why I like it like that, but yeah, this I recommend that. So hell yeah! Shout
mm.
out to EM who's gonna be in the blender pretty soon. What's going on, EM? So what was your favorite off-season move this year, And what was the off-season move that had you shaking your head?
Um, Favorite off-season move. I'm gonna go with Kendall Fuller. Kendall Fuller, easy call because I mean, as we all know, we lost Xavier Howard, so there's a glaring hole at cornerback. A lot of people probably were thinking, "Oh, Cam Smith, this Cam Smith season." And while I'm hoping Cam Smith can eventually come in and be somebody's replacement, we don't know that. Why do we not know that? Because we never gave him an opportunity to play. Why he never had an opportunity to play is beyond me. Is it because performance? Was it because of politics? It's above my pay grade to know what's going on there, but I don't want to take the risk. So bringing in a guy that we know is a quality starter, who's better than above average, can plug right into the system, play alongside Jalen Ramsey. We can keep the other guys in the slot positions
Mhm.
like Kader Kohus and Nick Needhams, and hopefully we get to throw a little bit of Cam Smith in there on the boundary when those guys get tired. So Kendall Fuller was huge for me. I think the
So you
Aaron
think
Brewer.
that Kendall Fuller is we have players, right? We have two types of players. We have players that are marked in pen and players that are marked in pencil, which could change at any time. So are you saying that Fuller is marked in pen as cornerback number two? That Fuller doesn't have a
Permanent
chance to?
marker.
Yeah.
Permanent marker. Permanent marker. You ain't getting it off you. It's a tattoo. He put tattoo ink on it. Yeah, he's day one starter. I mean, health, healthy Dan. Of course, healthy.
Yeah.
He's a
Yeah.
day
Of
one
course.
starter. I think Aaron Brewer was a huge move too, but I feel like that's more pencil than pen.
Hmm.
Um,
What do you feel about his
losing,
undersized and being undersized?
I feel like he has an anchor and he can move, and that's what McDaniel wants in his center. So you got a guy that can move, and that he's a McDaniel guy. I'm gonna say that he is a McDaniel guy through and through. So I'm hoping it works out. He is very small, so it is a little concerning. But we can draft the guy. We can draft the guy too, and put some competition in that center room. Draft the center guard in the draft. That's what I'm hoping they do. Me personally, first
What's
second
up,
round,
Lizzie?
a center guard. So, he can compete for the center position. If he don't win the center position, throw him out there at right guard if he's good enough. Um, and we signed Kendall Lamb today. Thank God. I'm trying to think of a move I thought was bad. Let's talk about the moves we did.
Or
We
it could
got
be somebody that we let walk too.
oh, letting Rob Hunt walk. That was tragic for me. I mean, what he got paid is like Jesus Christ. What is he? Is he's the highest paid guard now, right?
Yeah.
Like outright the highest paid guard. That's insane. I don't think he's the best guard in the league at all. He's never even been a Pro Bowler or All Pro, so I don't understand the logic behind making him the highest paid guard. But losing Robert Hunt made me a lot more sad than losing Christian Wilkins. I know some of y'all are gonna go crazy when I say that, but losing Robert Hunt, like he was so good. I feel like he was so good at what he did. And we're gonna.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be easy to plug that right guard spot like we think it is. I think
Well,
there's guys in the draft right now that could replace Christian Wilkins. I'm sorry, I know y'all don't want to hear that. I feel like we could
trust me,
get a guy like Brandon.
I wasn't a big Christian Wilkins fan.
Oh,
Um,
I love Christian Wilkins, but yeah,
yeah, I understand. But here's the thing. One thing I liked about Christian Wilkins, Robert Hunt, was the fact that um, he also had some bias towards Robert Hunt, which I'll explain to you in a minute. See, the thing I liked about Rob Hunt was he also had the ability to play right tackle if you needed him to. If you had
hmm
like nobody that was really good at right tackle, you could kind of slide him over. So one of the reasons that I am bias towards him is because he went from Lafayette, and at the time, the head coach and the offensive line coach was Rob Sell. Was his offensive line coach, and his head coach was Billy Napier, and they both are the current coaches for Florida Gators. So looking at Rob Hunt's success kind of gives me hope for our Florida success. So that's why I kind of have my biases for Robert Hunt.
I hear you. But yeah, back to the Christian Wilkins thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm hoping he's there in the second round, but there's a guy I think we could plug in right now that could be to Zach Sealer that compliment that him and Christian Wilkins were, and that's Brandon Fisk. Call me crazy. I think Brandon Fisk can come in and do exactly what those two guys do. So I'm hoping that guy slides to 55, and if he's there, make it happen, Chris Greer. Make it happen.
What's going on, Bobby? Hey, my man Anthony Lucci. What's going on, man? Yeah, this guy right here, man. That's my brother from another mother, Mr. Pialucci. He was a big Christian Wilkins fan. So
I'm a big Christian Wilkins fan too, but
he has the most tackle in history in the NFL. This
did
guy
you see
says
what he got paid? Did you
yeah.
see what he got?
Look, he ain't no Warren Sapp. He's no freaking Aaron Donald. Sorry. He's just a dude that act like a Power Ranger. But anyway, no, but yeah, I didn't. It is what it is. But that's my dog, Pialucci. I'm glad to see you in the building, man.
Mr. Pialucci, you don't think Brandon Fisk could come in and give you? I feel like this past year was an anomaly. I don't think he's a 9 sack a year guy. You don't think Brandon Fisk can come in here and get you 3.5 sacks and 70 tackles? No? Okay, never mind.
Mm-hmm. Oh man. Nah, this ain't a panel. This is a one-on-one show, man. This is Andrevious time. So at the end of the day, me and Lucci is part of the Fins. He's part of the Fury fam. He could come up here. We could do another show. You know what I'm saying? But right now, and by the way, man, let me thank you. I can't thank you enough for coming up and supporting the show, bro. I really appreciate you, Dre.
Oh, it's no problem. It's an honor for me. You Shake Money. You one of those guys in the community. Uh, feel like you whether you agree or disagree, you always want to hear somebody's take. When I think somebody's saying foolishness, I get annoyed. Most of us get annoyed when we say foolishness. You are, as my grandmother would say, you have the patience of Job. You have the patience of Job. With these you have the patience of Job. You are patient with everyone. You wanna hear them out. You wanna rationalize what they're saying. Sometimes it frustrates me. I'm like, Shake, stop trying to make this make sense. But I gotta give it to you. You do it for all parties, so I can't be mad at you.
Yeah. I'm not an anti-Tua guy. I'm somebody who's anti-Tua. Let me hear you. At the end of the day, look, one of the things I've said, and I've said this on this platform many times, if you have an opinion and you challenge it, two things will happen. You might get a new perspective, right? Or you might leave with reinforced that you believe, fortified, knowing that you know that your opinion is for because you put it to the test. If you don't put your opinion to the test, how do you know it's the right one? You know what I mean?
Sometimes you're right, Shake, but you know.
I know what you mean, but listen. At the end of the day, chaos. I remember Stephen D is spread kindness. You're spread chaos.
I am spread chaos. I want to see chaos. I want to see fires burning, people running, legs breaking. I want to see all that. I want to see violence. I love violence. Pray for me.
Yeah, man. But hey, man, just like in the chat, my man Lucci and my guy CBA3, they're arguing about Christian Wilkins, which they could have that. Oh man. All right. Before we go, and I again appreciate you. What is all right? Let me ask you this, and then we'll get to the last question. If Tua Tagovailoa, and I'm gonna clip this by the way, so give me a good answer. If Tua Tagovailoa wins the Super Bowl, does he surpass Dan Marino? In your opinion?
Yes, 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 yes. I, I'm gonna go even further. I'm gonna say if he goes to the Super Bowl, and I don't care if the team drags him to the Super Bowl, and it's very clear he's not the why. You know how
Like
we
Brad
know
Johnson?
when, yeah, we know when the quarterback's not the why, or they were just the guy that he was good enough to start, and that's it. Brad Johnsons of the world, the why is it why is it escaping me right now? That goddamn the Ravens quarterback. Why Trent Dilfers of the world, the Nick Foles of the world. If I don't even care if that's the scenario. Yes, absolutely. Build the statue. Build the statue immediately. Immediately build it. Put it. Make it bigger than Dan Marino's.
How about this? Why don't you just take out the three, right? That's the Dan Marino jersey. You just
Mhm.
take out the 13, put the one, remove Dan Marino's head, and just put two right there. Boom.
Yes, yes, I'm fine with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to piss on your memories, old people, but Super Bowl me, Super Bowl me. I don't care. Super Bowl me. I,
That's why I
I,
love you, man.
I don't understand how you could think otherwise. Listen, I've been very fair about it. I poo poo on Skylar Thompson all day. I say if something happens to Tua and we win a Super Bowl with Skylar, Skylar's my goat. I don't care. I don't care how y'all feel about it. Skylar's my goat. I don't care how much I poo pooed on this man. Skylar is the goat if he wins the Super. I don't care about none of that. I mean,
Huh?
crypto, Mister. I don't have a million years to wait for a Super Bowl. I know how it feels to wait 130 years to win a championship. I can't believe this guy is booing me for saying put the guy who wins the Super Bowl over the guy who didn't win the Super Bowl. Really, really, crypto, Mister. I waited 130 years for the Cubs to win. I don't have 130 more. You would. It looks like if Dan Marino played 130 years, you would have been waiting 130 years, sir. Take that how you want to take it.
Yeah, I know. I know. He has feedback, but hey, we're almost done here, man. Last question: who is your Mount Rushmore of the Miami Dolphins?
Oh, that's a tough one. I mean, I'm gonna automatically put Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas up there.
Oh,
Uh,
wait a minute. Wait a minute. Before you think of that, I'm sorry. I'm tripping. I forgot to ask you the duo question. Okay, I have five duos. Okay, you have Ricky and Ronnie, the Marx brothers. You have Sam Madison, Patrick Surtain, Zach Thomas, Jason Taylor, Dwight Stevenson, Richmond Webb. If you could put any of one of those five duos in next year's roster, who would it be?
hmm, hmm. Zach and Jason Taylor. Zach and Jason Taylor. Uh, Listen, a middle linebacker who's going to lead your team and man the defense, give them the green dot. He's gonna take care of the middle of the field. He's gonna take care of any running back or receiver who gets past the first line of defense. And then you got another guy who gonna minimum give you 12 sacks. Give me that any day. Well, when was the last time we seen that on this team? When was the last time? I mean, maybe we can say right now Bradley Chubb is that guy, but then he gets injured when he's on his way to getting however many sacks he's on the way to getting. So
Yeah, man.
give me that duo right now. We've seen two lockdown corners. We've seen two great receivers. We've seen we've seen last year I feel like our running back duo was pretty good. We've seen all that other stuff recently. We haven't seen a great pass rusher and a great middle linebacker duo. We just haven't seen it.
And by the
Give it
way,
to me.
EM Dolphin fan, the legend EM Dolphin fan, he's gonna be a guest on this. I got this bottle. I got this Hennessy with his name on it, man. So when he comes here, I'm gonna pour me a glass of Hennessy. We finna chop it up. But all right now, sorry, the Dolphins, Mount Rushmore.
I'm looking at the comments. Color says Chubb won a Super Bowl. I don't think so. I think he got there after they won the Super Bowl. Color. I might be wrong, but I think he was there after. Um,
Yeah, he was after. He didn't win a Super Bowl. Uh, Von Miller won the Super Bowl, but not Chubb.
yeah.
Oh man, shout out to my man Anthony Pialucci. Ask him if he could put Prime Marino in the same tool. Would he pick? Who would he pick?
I mean, the easy answer is Marino, but that I don't. I think he'd think that was a gotcha question. My answer's still
Mhm.
not going to change. If Tua wins the Super Bowl, I'm putting him
Yeah.
above Marino. So, so I mean, even if I think Marino's better,
So
I
would you
don't
put
care.
Greasy above Marino then?
No, I know that. I know that kind of contradicts what I'm saying. I feel like it was a different time, different era. Mm, you, I just feel like you can't really defend how Greasy was winning Super Bowls and say he was like that guy. But man, screw it. Yeah, I'm putting Greasy above Marino. I don't care. I don't care. Marino was better, but Greasy got two Super Bowls, so there's
And a
that.
perfect season.
Um, and the
Hey
perfect
man,
season.
thank you, Pialucci, man. Much love to you, brother. Hey man, can't wait to do season 2 of Happy Hour with you, bro. But go ahead.
Mount Rushmore. I told you automatically. I'm putting
Zach
uh,
Thomas and Jason Taylor.
Mac Thomas and Jason Taylor. I mean, I guess I'm gonna put Marino on there. And that fourth spot is where it gets shaky.
Like I said, we could do owner, coach, cheerleader, lunch lady Doris.
Cheerleader.
I don't
Oh,
know.
well,
I
there's
said it
Don
doesn't matter. It doesn't
Shula.
matter.
Shula.
No, no. Anybody. And again, doesn't have to be. It could be coach, owner, or you know what I mean. You could put Stephen Ross in the. I
No,
doubt
I'm
you
not
would,
putting
but
Ross. You got to give me a Super Bowl big dog. Yeah, I'm
hold on.
going Taylor.
Are you sure you don't want to put this guy on there?
Yeah, no.
How
If he
about
get
this
me a
guy right
Super
here?
Bowl, if they get me a Super Bowl, yeah, they going them two, all of them. They all on Mount Rushmore. Tyreek Hill, Mount Rushmore. Yeah, I'm a make sure we can add more than four to Mount Rushmore. The whole team going on Mount Rushmore for me. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go Don Shula that fourth spot for the Mount Rushmore.
So
Only other
so.
person I was thinking was Larry Little. I'm a big Larry Little fan.
Oh man, he went to a HBCU baby, and listen,
Mhm.
listen, Larry Little, uh, to the Dolphins is kind of like um what's his name? Udonis Haslam. You know what I mean? He went to high school in Florida, went to college in Florida, and played for the Heat, lifelong Heat. So
Mhm. Mhm.
as a matter of fact, that's one of my favorite Heat players of all time because he went to Florida. He was a Gator.
And Larry Little is a brother of the greatest fraternity, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Root to the bros.
You're part of that group too.
Absolutely.
I believe KP is a part of that too, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Who?
KP.
No, I don't think so. I think he's in a fraternity, but I think he's in a different one. I believe
Okay, okay.
he's. I don't want to say the wrong one.
Okay, but yeah, man.
It's in
But
the-
yeah, so that's cool that you and Larry Lee are part of the same fraternity.
Mhm. Hall of
That's
Famer
what's
Larry
up.
Little, that is.
So to recap, it's Don Shula, Dan Marino, Zach Thomas, and
Jason Taylor. Yep.
that's what's up, man. So
Look for
before we
Hall of
leave,
Famer.
before we leave, man, just make sure this Thursday we got Larry, not Larry Little. I was gonna say Larry. I wish Larry Little, but no, we got Mr. Negative this Thursday. 2 weeks from now we have from the damn, I'm drawing a blank on his name. But yeah, we got him. We got him. Yeah, he's coming on. Steve Malloy, I believe. Yeah, Steve Malloy. Right? Yeah, his name. He's on. He's coming on. Yeah, man, we got color commentary coming soon. Crypto's coming back in. KP is coming on. We got some, and Dolph Freaky. I'm hoping, keep it knock on wood. I'm hoping to get her back before we do the beach bash. So this is a awesome season 2, man. And Dravious, I am honored that you were a part of it. And what are your final thoughts before we get out of this?
Final thoughts. I'm just gonna say, fins up. Let's go undefeated again. Win the Super Bowl, and put the statue up. That's it.
That's
That's
what's
all
up.
I got.
Oh yeah. All right, man. Hey, can we hang up backstage for a little bit? I just ask you a few questions if you don't mind.
Yeah. No problem.
All right, cool. So, like I said, this Thursday, Mr. Negative. I don't know who the next week's guest is, but I'm working on that. But Steve Malloy will be the week after. So, with that being said, man, I appreciate everybody who joined in. D-Rod, my brother from another mother, Crypto, who is the Insomnia co-host. We got my man Lucci, who is my co-host for the Happy Hour, and Lucci G and Shake. We got, don't forget, Dolphinier, color commentary, D-Rod, man. My brother from another mother, Louis Amador. And by the way, tomorrow on the Fins Tailgate, tomorrow's topic is what's the difference between Dak Prescott and Tua Tagovailoa. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all for coming through. Make sure you hit the like button, and please make sure you comment after the video. Much appreciated. So, fins up, guys.
I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K. I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K.